otherwise. Welcome to Anselmo Academy of Music and the Arts YouTube channel. Greetings from New York City and wishing all Americans a happy Memorial Day. And all students and teachers a happy beginning of summer. For many music students, this is the beginning of exciting maybe summer festivals or summer activities, and we're wishing you all the best. We continue to feature our many competition winners from 4th Anselmo Academy International Youth Competition. But first, if you know me, I have some summer jokes. Have you heard any summer jokes? Maybe not. Well, I have a few and I wanted to share. Why not? I have just a few. So, joke number one. Why don't oysters share their pearls? Because they are shellfish. Okay, I actually wouldn't share my pearls either. Joke number two. Why are fish never good tennis players? Because they never get close to the net. All right. And the last one. Why do fish swim in salt water? Because pepper water would make them sneeze. I can attest to that. All right. Okay. Please help me welcome 3 young musicians, all prize winners, from our live in person and live on Zoom competition that took place in February 2022. Guest number 1 is second prize winner in piano category, Julian Raheb, 16-year-old pianist. Julian, wave hello. Say hi.
Hello.
Wonderful to meet you. Thanks for joining us. Guest number 2 is third prize winner in strings category, Jesse Schopflocher, 16-year-old violist. Say hi, Jesse.
Hello.
Wonderful to meet you and thank you for joining us. And guest number 3 is second prize winner in piano category from our Zoom competition, Sawyer Dahlen, 17-year-old pianist. Say hi, Sawyer.
Hi.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Welcome you guys and congratulations again on all your successes. Quick introduction about each guest. I simply pulled what I thought was interesting facts about each one of you. So Julian is 16-year-old pianist, composer, artist, and a published poet. He attends Frank Sinatra School of Arts in New York City and Manhattan School of Music for composition and piano, and he studies with Professor Adrian Kim for piano. Now, Jesse is our guest number 2, a 16-year-old violist. He attends special music school in New York City, where he studies with Professor Yifang Wang. And guest number 3 is Sawyer Dahlen. Sawyer is a 17-year-old pianist. She attends Mena School of Music Preparatory Division and is a student of Professor Mosher Eckert. Okay, and now a few words. Let me organize my papers. A few words about Anselmo Academy. We are almost done finishing our 21st school year, and we are honored and proud to have been offering music and arts education for thousands of students in the last 21 years. Our signature programs are enrichment group classes, where we send teachers to local schools and after-school programs, community centers, senior centers, and to organizations that serve students with learning disabilities, to teach a variety of music and theater type classes. A few events coming up. Our online masterclass is happening in June again. You probably seen our first online masterclass with Professor Oksana Yablonska. So our second masterclass is coming up in early June with Professor Alicia Fiderkovich, who is a Polish-born pianist who currently resides in UK, and a young pianist, Yuma Kano, who is 14-year-old student from the West Coast in California, and is our first prize winner in piano category at 4th Anselmo Academy Youth International Competition. We also having multiple student recitals in May and June all around New York, in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, New Jersey, and Rockland counties. And you're welcome to still visit some as we are finishing them the first week of June. The admission is free for all guests. And summer enrollment begins. And we are enrolling students for a variety of music and theater type lessons throughout the summer. If you're interested, please feel free to reach out. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, TikTok, and other social media platform. Comment and post any questions, and subscribe to our 2 newsletters. One is academic newsletter, and the other one is called On Stage. And you will be receiving them via email twice a month. We hope you enjoy our program today, and we're going to take a quick musical break before we meet Julian. Wonderful, welcome back. If now we could have Julian's picture, profile picture on the screen as I continue to introduce him and read his accolades, please. Wonderful. Julian is a two-time piano competition winner at New Jersey PAC, 11-time Arts Connection winner, 9-time Scholastic Art winner, gold medal, and gold silver keys. And his work is currently on exhibit at the Met Museum. He's been featured on Fox 5 News by 30-time Emmy-winning anchor Ernie Anastas and had a full-page feature in the Brooklyn paper. His compositions have been premiered by the Regina Opera, the American Composers Orchestra, the New York Youth Symphony, Menace, and Manhattan School of Music. His recent awards include Emerging Composer Recognition by the Tribeca New Music Board of Directors 2022, second place winner in the Anselmo International Youth Piano Competition, and finalist National Young Composers Challenge for Expanding Time Starting Quartet 2021. And now we're going to hear the full version of Julian performing Bach Gigue from English Suite number 5. Take a look.
Our next performer will be Julian Raheb performing English Suite number 5 in E minor.
Wonderful. I like the repeats. Okay, our guest number 2 is Jesse. Can we have Jesse's picture, please, on the screen? Wonderful. Jesse had had multiple performing experiences at the Special Music School Orchestra, second chair, Special Music School Piano Quintet and String Quartet, and at the MAP Children's Chorus. Jesse is a published author. He is one of the 43 Special Music School students who wrote and published Who is Florence Price, a children's book about the composer, published in 2021. And we're going to hear another Bach performance of Jesse performing Bach Cello Suite in D minor, a prelude. Take a look. Beautiful. Wonderful. We'll get back to both Julian and Jesse shortly. Our guest number 3 is Sawyer. Can we have Sawyer's picture on the screen, please, as I read her accolades? Great. Sawyer currently is attending Columbia High School in New Jersey. She has been accepted into Clara Manus Scholarship Program, Scholars Program at Manus Prep for Advanced Studies. Sawyer has been a participant in numerous performing events through Columbia High School, Virtuosi Chamber Ensemble, Leshetitsky Association, Chamber Music Center of New York, among others. And Sawyer's video number 1 is Beethoven Sonata number 18, Opus 31, number 3. Take a look. Great job. Okay, we are moving on to a part of our broadcast that we call a dialogue. We wanted to create conversation between three guests who never met each other, never had opportunity to talk music. So here's our opportunity to listen to you discuss different subjects. And by the way, each guest provided they subject for discussion. So I'm just going to choose the most interesting ones for our dialogue today. Okay, question number 1: proudest musical accomplishment. Let's go in order. Let's start with Julian.
My proudest musical accomplishment was with the American Composers Orchestra, and I had my piece performed at the gala, and I also got comments from John Curigliano, who's like one of my favorite modern composers, and he told me to never stop composing. So it was very memorable for me.
Fantastic. Amazing. Jesse.
One of my proudest musical accomplishments was probably singing a solo role in the Met, which was I sang Inyo de Helias and Melisande, which is one of the biggest roles for children, I think, and it was just huge experience for me, I think.
Wonderful. Your volume is a little bit low on my end. Maybe turn it up just a little bit for your next question. That would be great. Sawyer.
For me, it was recently getting to perform a world premiere of a new piece called Insurrection by a composer who's not much older than I am at Weill Hall. He put a lot of trust in me to world premiere that, and it was successful. So,
can you tell us who the composer is?
His name is Jose Brandão. He lives in Portugal. I hope I'm not mispronouncing his name.
That's wonderful. What was the occasion? It was the premiere for, was it?
It was part of Piano Teachers Congress of New York, and they select someone to perform a 21st century commission piece.
Wonderful. Excellent. Okay, moving on. Interesting question, I think one of you provided, is performing live versus on Zoom. All right. Let's start with Jesse.
Well, I definitely think that performing live is much more. I get much more anxiety from doing that, but I feel like it's just a little more scary, I guess, to perform live for me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's mostly the same performing either way.
All right. And what have you learned, I think is a good also question, about performing on Zoom, right? Because that's relatively new experience for all of us in the last couple of years. Any new skills about performing on Zoom? What do you think?
Sorry, is it still me?
Yes, it is still you. Sorry.
Sorry. I feel like something that I learned throughout performing on Zoom is that either way, you should. I feel like it's still perform either way. You're not. It's not that what I mean. Sorry,
it's okay. You're doing great. Mm-hmm.
I think that no matter where it's on Zoom, I feel or in live audience, I feel like no matter what, you should still try giving it your hardest, no matter what, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Even you may think
mm-hmm.
I don't know, different on Zoom or something. I don't know.
Yep. Great. Okay, Sawyer, you go next.
I think both Zoom and live performing have their pros and cons. I personally strongly prefer live performing because there's no space between you and the audience, and the audience really makes, I don't know, the atmosphere different every time, which is why live performing never gets boring. Whereas on Zoom, you always have these limitations. You're behind a screen, you never know how your sound is coming out on the other end, or your audio and visual limitations. So I feel like, getting to kind of connect with your audience is also a big part of performing, and that's why I prefer live, in my opinion.
Yeah, I actually think it would be harder to perform on Zoom because, like, there is lack of audience, right? Okay, Julian, what do you think?
I prefer live because you're more in the moment, so I'm able to express myself more. But I definitely agree with Jesse, how it's a lot of anxiety, but I can use that anxiety to like bring the best out of myself.
Very good. Okay. Moving on to question number 3. What happens when you don't want to practice? What do you do to help motivate yourself? Sawyer.
I mean, I think the answer is going to be different for everybody, but over the past year, music school auditions have been a motivator for me to practice, of course. But also, generally speaking, I know what it feels like to come out of a performance like knowing that I wasn't prepared enough, and that's just not a good feeling. So when I don't want to practice, I think, that's the feeling I want to avoid. I want to go into every performance as prepared as possible.
Yeah, that's excellent answer, actually. Okay, Jesse.
Yeah, I feel like just like when I don't feel motivated, like I feel like just always setting like I'm sort of like a musical goal for myself is just like always like something that helps me stay motivated. Like finding like ways to like I guess like keep like signing up for like as many performances as possible. So I'm always like practicing towards like a goal or something, which I feel like always is making me motivate me to like practice and stuff.
Excellent. Wonderful. Julian.
I think like over quarantine, what I've been doing a lot even now, I just go on YouTube and I listen to like my favorite performers playing pieces that I want to learn or I am learning. So I kind of get like an idea of what I can accomplish if I keep playing, and it just motivates me.
Excellent. Very good, you guys. When is it, next question, question number 4. When is it a good time to take a break from a piece of music, and why? Let's start with Julian.
I'll usually take a break right after I've done a lot of vigorous practice before a concert. So usually after that concert, if I don't have any more concerts, I'll take a break from that piece and I'll give my ears a break and I'll start learning a new piece or just another piece.
Since you said give your ears a break, so why do you think that's important?
Well, I think just hearing the same piece in your head and just having the same mindset and the same goal of getting one piece done for your concert can kind of get old, and you just need to like give your ears a break so when you go back to it and you have a different perspective.
Absolutely. Excellent answer. Sawyer.
Yeah, I agree with Julian. After several performances of a piece, I typically take a break because I feel like I learn new things about the piece performing it, like new things that I wouldn't learn just by doing everyday practice, and that those new things have to kind of internalize, and a break's good for that before I come back to it again and prepare for more performance and bring it to an even higher level.
Great. Jesse.
I definitely agree with what everybody just said. Like
A little bit louder. Can you try a little louder? Yes.
I agree with what everybody just said. I think after a performance is definitely the best time. I think listen to like a couple recordings like after, and then try to find like a new way to like play the piece rather than like same old way that you played. I guess. I think that's what.
Wonderful. Okay. Let's see. Question number 5. Do you have favorite performers? Who are they and what you like most about them? Julian.
I'm probably going to pronounce his name wrong, but it's Daniil Trifonov. And
Stepanov.
I just like him because he has extreme dynamics, and he has very mesmerizing gestures when he plays. A lot of body movement involved and a lot of expression, and he like really makes me feel the emotions in the piece.
Great. Jesse.
I find that like performers that I like are more like actual like it's funny that I find like singers are more like performers that I find like more inspirational because I feel like viola is much more like it feels like an instrument that is it sounds a lot like a voice in a way. So I feel like performers that I like more like tenors, such as like yeah, just like tenors like Pavarotti, like all those ones. Just since I find
Fantastic.
that they
So so you like opera, obviously, then.
yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, Sawyer.
Um, I really like Daniel Barenboim. Maybe it's because I'm also super drawn to Beethoven, but he's always trying to, pull apart the pieces even more. Like he's always pushing himself to a higher level, if that's even possible, and finding like every ounce of emotion in each piece, and I really admire that.
Fantastic. Okay. Last question. What helped you discover your passion for music? Let's start with Sawyer.
For me, it was getting a really good teacher. I don't know, having a teacher that could talk about music the way she did and just inspire me to, understand music as a language really pushed me to practice more and just understand my instrument in a new way.
Fantastic. And when did that happen?
I started playing piano when I was around 6, but that kind of happened when I was like 9 or 10.
Wonderful. Okay, Jesse.
I find that like yeah, like I feel like I started like viola when I was very young, like 4, but I only feel like I really like found like a passion, like really started like actually getting into it like when I like joined like the Met and like started realizing like yeah, like what like I really liked about like music and stuff and what I really wanted to like model like everything I do about music about like viola wise and also vocal wise.
Wonderful. Julian.
I think it was really just as simple as listening to music that I really wanted to play and that I liked, which helped me like develop my love for music. And I also like playing really challenging pieces that will seem like impressive to the audience. So I'll usually listen to that before learning it, and it'll motivate me.
Great answers, you guys. Fantastic. All right, we are going to move back to speaking with each guest, and we're going back to Julian. All right, so question number 1 from me. How do you manage all of your interests? We were talking about composing and art and everything else. How can you give us a scenario of your day or week, maybe?
It's actually very, very hard to manage, and I'm usually stressed out. I'll just have to push through, but usually I have my average weekday. I'll have like art classes on Wednesday and Thursday. I'll have my pre-college class for Manhattan School of Music on Saturdays all day. Sundays I usually have like my concerts. Tuesday, I think I just ended it. I had a college prep class. Wednesday, I have another extracurricular class.
So when does composing take place?
Usually like after I get all my work done. So it's usually like late at night, maybe like 9-10 o'clock before I go to bed, when I'm more relaxed and it's like the end of the day. I can usually find time to write good music.
Do you gravitate more towards expressing yourself through music, or is it equal with your poetry and visual art as well. Where do you think music stands as far as your
I think
background?
they're both kind of related in a practice kind of sense, since I'm always just practicing, expanding my abilities, and I think they're just related to each other, so I can incorporate them both equally in my life.
Wonderful. It's hard to keep up
Yeah,
all of your interests at a high
definitely.
level. I wanted to play a little excerpt from Julian, a 12-year-old, being interviewed on Fox 5 News. Can we just hear a little bit of that, please?
I like to play classical and I like Bach because his music, like, it's very complex, but it's also very passionate.
Julian Raheb may only be 12 years old, but this piano prodigy has accomplished more than many musicians ever will in their lifetimes. To date, he has composed about 20 songs. 2 of them are based on poems from Langston Hughes and Robert Frost.
When I'm playing pieces that I love to play, it gives me chills because they're really hard, and when I show people all the work I put into my pieces, makes me feel like I've accomplished something really hard.
Music runs through the 7th grader's veins. His dad, Jeff, is a guitarist and inspired Julian to compose his first song at 8 years old. Since then, he's been running his fingers along a keyboard 7 days a week.
Fantastic. And I also wanted to talk to us a little bit, Julian, about how did you start composing? What motivated you? Because we have also an excerpt to showcase one of your pieces. So tell us a little bit about how did you begin with your compositions?
Well, my dad's been a composer for most of his life, so I was introduced to composing at a young age, and my dad was always playing me his compositions. But at that time, I wasn't really interested in it. It wasn't really like motivation. I actually started composing when the New York Philharmonic chose me as a participant in their very young composers program. And I was 9 at the time. So I studied with them up until, I believe, 7th grade. Then I went to the American Composers Orchestra, and then as well as the New York Youth Symphony Orchestra. And now I'm doing composing at my pre-college class at Manhattan School of Music.
Fantastic. Let's play. We chose just basically at random. I wanted to play a quintet where you are at the piano. It's called Eternal Red for, I guess it's a quintet, piano, flute, and cello. Take a look. Wonderful. Tell us how old were you and where was this? Oops, you're muted. I'm sorry.
This was at a church in Park Slope. It's near the Brooklyn Conservatory. I don't remember the name of the church, but I believe this was in. It was definitely in middle school. I think I was in 7th grade.
Wonderful. Great. And is that a quintet? Because I only heard 3 instruments, so maybe that's a wrong piece that we played, or is that correct?
But that was a trio.
Trio, okay.
Yeah.
Is there another quintet that called also Eternal Red?
Yes, that was a
I
different
see.
piece. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So we got a little bit confused. Okay, glad to clarify. Next, we're going to go to your picture gallery, and as we, go through your pictures, please tell us where you were and who you're with. I'm going to go on mute.
So this was at the Scholastic, as you can see, the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards. And this is after I won a gold medal for one of my art pieces. It was an artwork of my neighborhood. It was abstract mixed with realism, and it went on tour around the world. So that was definitely my biggest art accomplishment. This was taken after I won first place at NJPAC in New Jersey. And this was during my interview with Fox 5 News in my house. This was at another church at the Brooklyn Conservatory. My piece, or my, I got published on a newspaper. This was actually recent, a couple months ago. I won photography. I won a gold key and a silver key for my photography, which is taken in Iceland. And this is at the Met. This was a gold key, and my art got exhibited at the Met, the student section. And this was an Arts Connection Award, which I usually win, every year. And this was they host it at an office space in a building. And this was at the American Composer Orchestra Gala. And to my right is John Crugliano and John Deek on the far right. This was in Florida, the Keys. It was at, I think, SeaWorld, and I was with dolphins.
Wonderful. And we're going to play another video of Julian performing Beethoven Moonlight Sonata. Take a look. Wonderful. Thanks so much, Julian. It's a pleasure meeting you. Obviously, stay on as we continue with Jesse. Jesse, welcome back. Question for me. So, what is it like to be a student at the special music school where half of your classes are devoted to music? Tell us a little bit more about your week.
Um, well, music. I mean, when you go to special music school, music takes up like a big part of your school life also because yeah, you have you have a lesson a week. Um, you have orchestra classes twice a week. You usually have chamber classes. There's also I think special music school is like the only school where, well, actually that's not true, but there is a music theory. Yes, there is a music theory course. There's a mandatory music theory course. There's also music history, music technology. So in all, there's just a lot of more music classes that take part of yeah, your school-based life.
And how do you balance homework with countless music subjects that you have to prepare for, plus all the other subjects? How does that work? All in one, basically, institution, all in one school. Most kids are not familiar with it, so that's why I'm asking. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's hard because yeah, it adds up a lot of work because usually practicing takes up a lot of time and also the homework takes up a lot of time. So um yeah, I mean yeah, I guess it's just hard to do, I guess sometimes. But yeah.
Have to be very organized to do that. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your singing with the Met. We do have some pictures to show a little bit later, but singing with the Met Opera, children's choir, operas you have been in, and what is it like to sing solo in front of 4,000 people? That was your mom that was helping a little bit with the question. Tell us a little bit about that experience. How old were you when you started?
I started, I believe, I started in third grade, so I believe I was 8. Um, and it's they organized into like 3 classes. So there's a beginners, intermediate, and advanced class. And once you get to the advanced class, you can start singing in operas, that kind of stuff. And every so often there's solo opportunities where you get to sing solo roles in operas. And yeah, it's just a great experience. I got to sing with so many famous like opera singers and the orchestra in the house. So yeah, it's an incredible experience.
Sounds really great. Okay, so tell us a little bit about viola. How did you get started, and why viola? What was the circumstance about you beginning on your instrument?
So I started on violin when I was 4, and around I think second grade, I had a violist as a teacher, and I was too young to remember what was actually going on, I guess. But I guess my teacher said at some point you should switch to viola at some point. Um, so I did, and yeah, I've been playing it since third
Right.
grade. Second grade, my
Oh,
bad.
wonderful. Okay, so we are going to let's do the slideshow now of the pictures, and you tell us, just like Julian did, tell us all about it as we go through them. I'm gonna go on mute.
Um, that's a photo of me playing violin in kindergarten, I think. That's me with my first viola teacher, um, just in a lesson, I guess. So I guess I was playing viola by then in second grade. that's a concert from 6th grade where I'm playing viola with my teacher, playing piano over. That's just my brother and I hiking in Vermont, I guess. That's me reading, I guess, manga on my bed with my cat. I think that's just a photo that I think we took recently. I'm not sure exactly what it was for, but yeah. That's Die Zauberflöte. That's the Met's production of Die Zauberflöte, which I think that's the final dress rehearsal of it. And it was a cast photo with everybody. I'm sorry. I'm the one next to him. Yeah. I'm the one on the left. Yeah. That's after the final performance of Il Tritco, where I sang a solo role, and I'm next to Placido Domingo. I was going busking with a couple friends there in 7th grade, I believe. So yeah. Oh, I think you're muted.
Right. See, I'm bad with technology. We have an excerpt of Jesse playing with his quartet. Take a look. Fantastic. Can you tell us where that was and what piece were you playing, please?
That was at Kaufman Music Center, Merkin Hall. And I was playing Dvorak, I think piano quintet. That was the first movement.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic, wonderful. And we also have your other Bach performance that we're going to play in a second. Again, cello suite in D minor. We have Courant. Take a listen. Okay, finally worked. Fantastic. Very nice meeting you, Jesse. Thanks so much for joining us. And moving on to Sawyer. Sawyer, so tell us about your other interests. We know that I wanted to say from your bio that you you're going to college. You're a little bit older than the other guests, so you're going to college. And so tell us about your next steps and your journey in music.
Yeah, sure. So my plans next year, I'm going to Bard Conservatory for their dual degree program in piano and liberal arts. It's a 5-year program. I haven't decided what my second major is yet. I mean, I have a lot of academic interests. I really like history and social studies. And I also play some sports. I'm planning to play lacrosse at Bard. So yeah.
Fantastic. And so what any repertoire choices for next year? What are you excited about learning?
I think I'm working on next year a Mozart piano concerto in E flat major, I believe it is. And then there's all kinds of chamber music I'd love to work on, especially Beethoven trios. But yeah.
Wonderful. And you won a prize at our competition for jazz work as you played Kapustin, which we'll play at the end of your interview. So do you play any more jazz, or was that just a single encounter with Kapustin?
That was more of a single encounter. I think he tries to bridge classical and jazz music, that composer. I do a little bit of musical theater playing as well, but not a ton.
Wonderful. We have a chamber ensemble video that we'd like to play now, which is I'm sorry. We have a chamber music video, which is Mozart Trio, K564. Take a look. wonderful. How old were you about?
I was in 7th grade, so probably like 12 or 13, back when my hair was much shorter.
Yes, look very cute. And you participated in quite a bit of chamber music performances and even performed at Carnegie Hall. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that piece, we played with the Chamber Music Center of New York, and their season finales at Weill Hall at Carnegie Hall. So we performed that there as well. And I also played chamber music at Kinhaven Music School for 2 years with a group at school and at a festival in the city as well.
Mm-hmm. And I do have on your resume that you did participate in a jazz ensemble. Is that correct?
Yes, I did a little bit of jazz at school.
Uh-huh. And also did Jazz House Kids Power in 2018? Mm-hmm.
Yes. That was with this jazz organization in New Jersey near me.
Tell us a little bit about how did it come about? What were you studying?
That was when I was, originally getting into jazz at the beginning of high school. And it's this great program. They have a lot of guest artists who are really accomplished jazz musicians, and we just got introduced to ensemble jazz playing, which is really cool because it's so different. It's almost like reading music in a different way and listening to other people in a different way. And we learned how to solo and improvise, so it was really cool.
And so tell us, how did you choose piano, and when did you know that music is going to be your career choice, essentially?
So, I didn't really pick piano. My parents were like, do you want to play? And I was like, sure, I'll play. And I didn't think much of it until I got with a really inspiring teacher, like I said before. And I don't know, I realized that, this is something I can continue with. She really helped me realize my potential.
That's great. When did you know that you want to go to college for music?
I think I knew around the beginning of high school. I was pretty sure about that.
That's great. Wonderful. All right, we're going to go now to your photo gallery, and you know what to do as we go through your pictures. I'll go on mute.
Okay, so this is a lesson with Seymour Bernstein. He's like a teacher of my other teachers, and he's well known. I think he's 93 right now. Oh my goodness. No, but he's still around playing piano. So this was a great experience. Okay, so this is a picture of the pit orchestra at school for my school's production of Matilda pre-COVID. This is just me practicing, I think, making an audition video. This is a picture of chamber music at Kinhaven. This is also with Chamber Music Center of New York. You can tell by the t-shirt, but we did an outdoor performance in Riverside Park, I believe. This was my teacher's studio recital in 2019. And this defined a lot of my life for the past 2 years, but this was chamber music we did on Zoom when everything had to go virtual in the summer of 2020. Oh yeah, and then this is, I played for my school's production of Newsies this year with a couple of musical theater things in there. And this is a recital at Tenry Cultural Institute. And this is the CMC season finale at Weill Hall.
Fantastic. I love your pictures. Do you also sing when you talk about musical theater, or no?
I'm not really a singer, but I'm around a lot of them, and it's such a fun experience to play with the musical. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great. And now, so talking about Kapustin, we have you perform his concert etude, Opus 40, number 1. Take a look. Bravo. So nice having you, Sawyer, to join our broadcast. And thank you, all of you, for joining us today. I wanted just to see if each one of you can share just a couple of farewell good wishes to the audience or any younger students that may be studying music and look up to you. What would you recommend to them, or what would you wish them? Julian, spontaneous, whatever comes to mind.
Just persevere through practice.
Anything else?
So like follow your passions, whatever you're passionate about. Live it out to the fullest.
Fantastic. Jesse?
I guess, yeah, just keep practicing, I guess. Um, yeah, pursue whatever you feel you want to do.
Wonderful. Sawyer?
There's going to be highs and lows. It's going to be really hard, and then it's going to feel really great. And then the same thing will happen over and over again. It's just part of the process. So push through all the hard moments and keep following your passion, and great things will come of it.
Amazing. I'm so deeply honored to meet all three of you. Thanks so much for joining us. And thanks so much for our audience for joining us today. We wish you a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.